There you go. That's why I got zero over there. You're so smart. You should have called me.
See, God brought me by here because I thought after the rehearsal I'd be too late, but the Lord said, "Go anyway." And see what happens when you listen.
Let me tell you what. I listen to him all the time. Today I was headed to a church. I do. I was headed to a church, and then
we live, right?
no, I'm not lying. And then I actually turned my car around in that church and came back to Cross Point and Conyers. And I'm going to tell you that lesson spoke to me. It was very, very good.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to run with Dr. Forrest.
All right.
Nice to meet you too.
Very nice.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. And I will tell Dr. Woods.
Please do.
Okay.
If you ever need help, call me. I'll come down.
Okay. That'll be great.
Good luck to you, sweetheart.
Thank you. Bye.
You're leaving me. It's okay.
Hey, Forrest, here's a present for Sharon. You know what this is? Bye. See ya.
I'll see you.
So how is it being a senator?
It's amazing. I feel like it's when I sit in my seat in the state senate on the floor, you know, there's 56 state senators.
Can I say one thing?
Uh-huh.
Bring yourself on.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
You're doing good. Miss Van Ness, I'm so glad you came.
Thank you. Good to see you again. Tell Sharon I said hi.
No, I got something to tell you before you leave.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'll be out there in a few minutes.
Take your time.
Okay.
We are here at 513 Covington on October the 2nd. Tell your family, tell your friends that you are officially on with Heart to Heart. And we are here with the Senate of District 43.
Thank you. Glad to be here with you.
So you were telling me about how you feel about being a senator and how it feels to be in your seat and doing the very important job that you do.
Well, I will tell you, I feel like a school kid when I first got there. I think I just sat in my seat and just looked around and thought about the history of what has happened on the Senate floor and some of the, you know, legendary legislation that's, of course, happened there. And just, I think it was overwhelming to think about, you know, how blessed I am to serve in such a role. And it's been fantastic. And the people that I get to meet and help is also amazing. So I can't say enough good things about the opportunity for our district to really make a difference in education statewide, look at some waivers for healthcare to really address all the people's needs who are looking for healthcare, but also affordable healthcare options, because that's something that plagues so many of the people that I know in Georgia. And I can tell you, I don't know one person that likes their health care and will say that it's affordable. Not one.
Not one.
No.
It's very hard.
So, but yeah, it's definitely a great opportunity. And I have a very good PAGE program. So anybody that's from the ages of 12 to 18 and in school or homeschooled is certainly welcome to sign up. And I typically 20 is typically your max, but I actually pull a bunch of favors and get some spots from some of my senators, fellow senators that are in South Georgia, and their constituents can't come up as frequently. So they're kind enough to share those slots with me. And we had the most pages this session in the Senate. So we definitely try and mentor young students. And then also for people that are older than that, and it can be anybody out of high school all the way to senior citizens. If you have an interest in what's going on in your government, you can actually come and shadow me for the day and go to committee meetings and things like that. And it's typically January through April when we're in session.
With the PAGE program, what all do you do?
So as a page at the Capitol, you actually go in about 8 or 8:30 that morning, and you are trained about a little bit about the history of the Senate and just how the process works that morning. We typically do public announcements and meeting of different organizations and groups. So it can be anybody from the president of UGA or some of his football coaches or whatever may come by for a special recognition, or it could be the Girl Scouts being recognized that day. But we have all kinds of people that come and are recognized, and you know, it could be Realtors Day or Alpha Kappa Alpha Day or anything like that. So they come and are recognized and get pictures with the lieutenant governor and things like that. So the pages get to be engaged in that process. They actually run information to us on the floor, the Senate floor. And I typically always take my pages and meet the lieutenant governor and have a picture with them. And you earn $10 for the day. But the best part is you get exempt from school that day. So you get a free pass from school. And we actually have a bus in Conyers that will take you right to the front door of the Capitol. So it's a super convenient thing, and I wouldn't want transportation to be an issue. So that's a great option, is that you can just catch the bus over at Springfield Baptist that morning, and it conveniently takes you to the first stop, which is the Capitol, and picks you up right there in the afternoon. So,
what advice would you have to seniors such as myself that are trying to get into politics and want to know more about their government just.
You know, it's kind of hard these days. They've taken some of the civics classes out of the requirement field for students, but I have thought about having a Civics 101 community class for people so that people can understand how many senators we have, how many House members we have, and the process for getting a bill through the legislature. I think people are intimidated by the conversation when it regards politics. And so I want to kind of demystify the process and make sure people have just more of an issues-oriented approach to understanding what goes on in your government, but most importantly, how to advocate for change. And so if you're passionate about victims' rights or about medical marijuana expansion, really giving people the understanding of how that process works is really important, I think. And so reach out and contact your legislators. I'm very accessible in the community. I always engage young people because I think that's part of my responsibility as a leader in the community, is helping mentor other people. And when I finished when I finished college, I interned in between breaks, so like Christmas and different holidays. And I was fortunate enough to, one of the bosses at one of the places I interned really said I did a great job and told me that he used to be in the legislature in New Hampshire and connected me with someone that did internships in DC. So I actually went and did an internship in DC after I went through the interview process and was selected. And I worked for Senator Alan Dixon of Illinois for an internship on the Senate side. And then I interviewed and was hired by Senator Hal Heflin's office, and he was from Alabama, and worked with them for a couple of years and got a lot of experience in constituent services and research and just the legislative process. And so that was a really exciting time in life and a great place to live, but not one that I would want to raise a family in. So when I moved back, I actually opened early childhood centers in Peachtree City. And so that's what I've been doing for the last 25 years, is working in the field of education.
What is your what is your favorite part out of everything that you do about being the Senate and being the chief executive of the Academy?
Well, working with people. I just love people. I should have been a sociologist, I think, because it's so applicable to what I do every day. But, you know, years ago, Oprah said, everybody has a story. And for me, I love to hear people's stories. And I've just through working with people for so many years, I've understood that, you know, just because someone looks well doesn't mean they're well. And sometimes they have a story to share that really endears you to them. And I will say, yesterday, I met a woman in visiting homes door to door, and because I travel that way every day to work, I knew she had lived in the county a very long time. And I said, I know you've lived here a long time because I've recognized the same cars being here and everything. And she said, yes, for 37 years. And she is from Vietnam. And she started talking about her children and said that her oldest son was no longer with us. And it brought tears to her eyes, which just endeared me to her, because as a mother myself, I can understand her pain to some degree. And then she proudly talked about her second son, who's really been able to live the American dream and finish at Kennesaw State and go on to be quite accomplished in his field of study. And those kind of stories, I think, are very just part of God's purpose and plan of just being able to outreach and meet such a variety of people. And, I believe that we're all children of Christ. And so the exposure that I have in our district is outstanding. I wish I could share all the good things I see in our community with everybody I come in contact with, because it would give them such hope and joy about the future of our community and the world itself. So probably that by far.
If you could change one thing about our education system, what would it be?
Probably the funding formula. So it's a very outdated funding formula, over 20 years old, and I would update that to more appropriately fund areas that are in need because of poverty and things like that, so that we could continue a lot of the innovative programs and make sure that we empower parents to be their best self and to teach them how to be effective with supporting their child through the education process. A lot of people that I've met who have come from a poverty-stricken area have actually been able to rise above that and been successful, but that's a small percentage of the group. And so being able to change that only makes our community better, because it strengthens every generation after that. So, I wish everybody had the work ethic you do, to have not only a job at Burger King and go to school full time and then come here. That drive will take you very far in life. And so I wish, every family had those opportunities, but I do understand that through experiences that a lot of people have financial stress in their lives through health emergencies. It could be a divorce or a death in the family that create their situation. And honestly, that could happen to people of all levels of affluence. And so certainly sympathetic to that and want to support our families as much as possible. And I've been working for over 25 years with families in our community. So
do you have anything that you wish for the whole world, well, county, to know about you?
Oh, gosh, just that I think I am so accessible, and I want to hear from people in the community about what they're concerned about. I would say what the feedback I get, the top issues are education and strengthening the schools and education opportunities for children. And I will say in Rockdale and Newton, we're fortunate that we have career academies. So we're also giving students the option for vocational training, because not every child's cut out for college. And we still have to remember the world can't function without plumbers and electricians and a lot of those important trades that we all rely on, but may overlook in what we consider success. There's a lot of people in those fields that make very, very good money and enjoy what they do. And so certainly I respect that, but I would say that, that's an important component. Unfortunately, in my district, we do not have a career academy in the Lithonia area, and we have so many people that would benefit from a career academy in that area. And so I am working and having conversations with people that can actually make that happen. So I would love to add that to my district. And what was the rest of your question?
What is one thing you want basically the county to know about you?
Just that I'm very passionate about my community. And I was born and raised in Rockdale County, but I've had a lot of work that I've done in Newton County through my schools and just community events. And I do want to remind everybody, next weekend is Change the World Day over at the Methodist Church. And it is a huge event, and our school always has a booth because we absolutely want to support the community events that help change the world. And last year I was so impressed by the number of people that turned out for it and by the genuine concern for just mankind in general. And it definitely showed at that event. So kudos to them for, creating the event and just helping those that are less fortunate in our communities. And so good job for them.
With the Career Academy, I know that I go to the one in Newton County. I know a lot of people that would like to attend the career academy, but they feel is that the pathway they want to go in is not offered there, such as art, dance, and a lot of other stuff. And would you feel that it would benefit if they expanded a little bit more the pathways?
Well, actually, my friend Chad Walker is the CEO there, and he came from RCA. So I actually grew up with one of his brothers, and so I've known his family for a long time. But I think, it's a relatively new thing. It's only been here a couple of years. And so each year, I think they'll refine their list of offerings, and they'll continue to grow. The lieutenant governor is very passionate about the career academies. And just like at Rockdale Career Academy, we've been able to add fire science and law enforcement. Now we're actually expanding and adding a healthcare component, and they'll do construction for that's going to start in February. So I definitely think those things are coming. Unfortunately for you as a senior, it won't impact you this year. But I think as the world continues to change, and the workforce demands are different, we're going to see more growth, especially in the bioscience areas. So
I just want to thank you for coming and answering my questions.
You are so welcome. Very nice to meet you.
Nice
And
to
I
meet
hope
you
if
too.
I can ever be of assistance to you or your friends, you'll call me without hesitation.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm always trying to speak to groups in the community who are curious about the process. And one of the hardest things for me really is to get feedback from millennials. And I am on social media. So my Facebook page is just Senator Janice Van Ness. Looks like Janice, but Senator Janice Van Ness. And I have a lot of activities posted on there and a lot of the fun things that I get to do. And I was telling Brother Sawyer that today I was at church services, but then I got to go to the ASO opening of the new Porter Memorial Performance Center. And that was very impressive to think about. Instead of driving to Atlanta and having trouble parking, we can do it right here in our community if we just support it. So it was an excellent event.
I wish I would have went, but
It was great. It was really great. So, but anyway, thank you for your time. Thanks for having me. And if you ever need me again, I'll give you a card and you can just give me a ring.
yes, ma'am. Thank you
All right.
so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll be right back, Upton. We'll play a few more commercials, and then you'll be back to tell your family, friends that you are with Heart to Heart on your favorite radio station, 1430 AM, WGFS.
Lord, I thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your grace. Lord, I thank you for saving me. Saving me by faith. Like your people in the fiery furnace. Lord, you set me free. If you did it for them, I know you do it for me. There was time when I was weary, times I did not have faith. Lord, I can't do nothing till you come, and I thank you for this day. You save me, you save me, save from running hell. When I was lost, when I lost the sea, you made a way out of no way. Save me, Jesus, save me, yes, I'm glad about it. Save me, yes, save me, Jesus, I thank you, you Save me. Yes! Save me. Save me. Yes! Save me. I've got to save me. Pick me up. Turn my life around. Lay my feet. Place me on solid ground. I'm glad about it. I'm glad about it. Save me. Save me. Save me. Jesus. Save me. The Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost. Save me. The Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost. Save me. Yeah. The Holy Ghost. The Holy Ghost. Yes. Lord, I thank you for your mercy. Thank you for your grace. Lord, I thank you for saving me. Saving me by grace.
When I was 17, like every other girl, I used to have big dreams. But then I got introduced to some other things, and suddenly the church girl I was originally. See, the wrong things can call your name. I chose to answer when the spirit said walk away. Now I live with circumstances that I can't erase. I just wish I could go back now to yesterday. Cause it was good, but there's not a hole too deep that God will reach down and save me. See, He cleaned me up and made me new. Said welcome back, and now I'm standing here in front of you. I'm different, y'all, I'm not the same. Ever since I met the Savior, see, my life has changed. I must admit, back in the day, I did some crazy things, but that's my past. See, my past has not passed away. See, I'm different, y'all, I'm not the same. Ever since I met King Jesus, all my life has changed. I must admit, back in the day, I did some crazy things, but that's my past. See, my past has not passed away. Cause I'm different, I'm human, I'm gonna make mistakes. If and when I do, please show me some grace. Cause though it may be me who messed up today, it may be your turn tomorrow, then I bet you say, cause what goes around comes back around. Those you hurt on your way up will be the bring you down. I used to feel the same way, but one Sunday morning something in my heart changed. Oh, I'm different, y'all, I'm not the same. Ever since I met the Savior, see, my life has changed. I must admit, back in the day, I did some crazy things, but that's my past. See, my past has not passed away. See, I'm different, y'all, I'm not the same. Ever since I met King Jesus, all my life has changed. I must admit, back in the day, I did some crazy things, but that's my past. See, my past has not passed away. Cause I'm different, there's not a hole too deep. Nah, that God will reach down and save me. See, it cleaned me up and made me new. Said welcome back, and now I'm standing here in front of you. Ooh, you can see I'm different in my walk, others see it in how I talk. I can see it in how I pray. I start to shed some tears each word I say. They tell me I'm blind day and night. I used to go off quick, I cuss and fight. I blame everyone else for my mistakes. If someone got too close, I push away. But then Jesus came in my life, my potential, and made it right. Not just religion, but something real. It's what I know now, not what I feel. You can't tell me like I can. Look at me, I'm born again. It wasn't easy, what I've been through. I'm stronger now, so I can help you. Help me, different.
We don't have to take our clothes off for that number one spot and lose my spot with you. Yeah, I've been about that life, now I wanna get something new. Tell me what you're drinking, whatever you're drinking, soon you're thirsty again. Let me tell you about my friend, he is patient to the end. If life was a song and you feel out of gear, then play this one for me. Whoa. If I talk about Jesus, can I get some love on the radio? I know it's not easy, but Mr. DJ, please, I gotta let the world know. I just wanna help you loving it, wanna make you smile, change the way you live, and talk about Jesus. So can I get some love on the radio? Let's go!
Say his name. Not just when you're in trouble to feel like no one loves you, but every single day. What else can I say to help you realize the pain will soon pass away? Yeah.
Like an old school song, it's gonna be a brighter day, yeah.
DJ, let that record play. Help me say.
If I talk about you, can I get some love on the radio? I know it's not easy, but Mr. DJ, please, I gotta let the world know. I just wanna help you loving it, wanna make you smile, change the way you live, and talk about Jesus. So can I get some love on the radio? I just wanna help you loving it, wanna make you smile, change the way you live, and talk about Jesus. So can I get some love on the radio? Let's go! To he's able. Wait a minute, let me put some walls in. He's able. Wait a minute, let me put some walls in.
Oh yes, he is. 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 Life is a song and you feel out of key.
Sing this one with me. If I talk about Jesus, can I get some love on the radio? I know it's not easy, but Mr. DJ, please, I gotta let the world know. I just wanna help you loving it, wanna make you smile, change the way you live, and talk about Jesus. So can I get some love on the radio? I just wanna help you loving it, wanna make you smile, change the way you live, and talk about Jesus. So can I get some love on the radio? Let's go! Lift your worship.
Lord, if I find favor in your sight, Lord, please hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting to be where you are. Across the hottest desert, I'll travel near or far for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. For your glory, I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. Lord, if I find favor, come on, say find favor in your sight. Lord, please, hear my heart's cry. I'm desperately waiting just to be where you are. Cross the hottest desert. Just say I'll travel near or far. Now raise it up and sing for your glory. I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. For your glory, I will do anything. Oh yes, I will, because I wanna see you, to behold you. I'll do anything to see you, just to see you as Jehovah, to behold you, my King. I wanna be where you are. Gotta be where you are. I wanna be where you are. Gotta be where you are. Come on, raise it before him, say, wanna be where you are. Gotta be where you are. I wanna be where you are. Dwelling in your presence. Come on, say it again. Wanna be where you are. Oh, I gotta be there. Come on, worshiper, tell him I wanna be where you are. Gotta be where you are. I wanna be where you are. I gotta be where you are. I wanna be where you are. I gotta be there. I really wanna be there. Said I wanna be where you are. I gotta be where you are. If you're not there, I don't wanna be there. If you're not in it, I don't wanna be there. I wanna be where you are. Wanna be where I gotta be there. I gotta be where dwelling in your presence. Living in your presence. I gotta be there. Wanna be. I really wanna be there. Gotta be where you are. One more time, say I wanna be. Is that what you really want? Tell him. Where you are. Wanna be where you are. Gotta be where you are. I wanna be there. Lift your hands right where you are and tell them I gotta be there. For your glory, I will do anything, whatever it takes, just to see you, to behold you as my King. I wanna be where you are. Peace is where you are. Joy is where you are. And love is who you are. wanna be where you are. Somebody make that your prayer in this moment. Gotta be where.
Good afternoon, Cubs. It is now 4:47, and as usual, we have today's this week and also last week's high school football team scores. So please stay tuned to your favorite radio station, 1430 AM, WGFS. After the next couple songs, we will be telling you those scores. Tell your family, tell your friends that you are officially on With Heart to Heart. My name is Shia Dawson, and please stay tuned to your favorite radio station, 1430 AM, WGFS.
We're living in a day and time where being politically correct is popular. Let me turn that around again. We're living in a day and time where everybody's saying the name of God, but nobody wants to say the name of Jesus. We don't want to offend the Muslims. We don't want to offend the Jews. We don't want to offend the Arabs. And so therefore we crucify him of flesh. But I want you to know that there will come a time when every Muslim, when every Buddhist, when every Jew will have to get down on their knees and have to confess that at the name of Jesus, every knee shall bow. So I want every blood-washed believer to not wait until then. And if you've ever gone through something, you know right here that there's something about the name. Something else. Something about the name Jesus. Something about the name. Something about the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name. Yeah. It is the sweetest name. Sweetest name I know. And I love that name. Oh, how I love the name Jesus. Oh, how I love the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name. Yeah. It's the sweetest name. Just take a minute and explain to him what you're really trying to say. What you're really trying to say. Some people say I'm crazy, but I can't explain. I can't explain the power that I feel when you call his name. When I call your name, that's fire. That's fire. Said it's just like fire. Where's it at? Where's it at? Shut up in my mood. Holy Ghost. When the Holy Ghost gets to moving, said he won't leave me alone. Everybody. Something about the name Jesus. Something about the name. Something about the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name, yeah. It is the sweetest name. Sweetest name I know. Wave at me if you love that name. Oh, how I love the name Jesus. Oh, how I love the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name, yeah. It is the how sweet is it? How sweet is it? I want you to tell Detroit for a minute. How sweet is it? Sweeter than honey. Said it's sweeter than honey. Oh, from the honeycomb. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. When the Holy Ghost gets to moving, just won't leave me alone. Said he won't leave me alone. Oh, no. Now tell every Muslim, every Jew, at the name of Jesus. At the name of Jesus. What's going to happen someday? Every knee has got to bow. So tell them don't wait. You don't have to wait till the fire comes. What can they do? You can clap your hands and praise it now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Something about the name Jesus. Something about that name. Something about the name Jesus. It's the sweetest name. It Sweetest name I know. Everybody lift your hands and worship with us. And come on. It's the sweetest name, yeah. You ready? Take it to the wrist. Ready, wrist. I know. Everybody, let me hear you. If you've ever gone through something, say, and when you can't think of no words to say, all you gotta do is open up your spirit and just say, oh, what a sweet. Let me hear you say, oh, yeah. Listen. Last night, me and my wife were up to midnight with our 3-year-old. Had to take him to emergency room because he had walking pneumonia. And see, you know, you take health for granted until it's your health. Just like we take food for granted until we run out of food. Just like we take our spouses for granted until we're walking by the casket and all we can do is wish that we could do things different. Just like children take their parents for granted. But I want to let you know, even when we take God for granted, what's so amazing about God is Paul says he does not treat us as our sins deserve. So that means that even in my imperfections, God is still perfect with his grace and his mercy. That's why I don't want people getting comfortable with praising the Lord just when the Lord gives them something. See, you gotta learn how to praise him because of who he is. Because see, when you praise him for who he is, you don't have to wait till the trouble comes to learn how to praise him. I want every blood-washed believer that has fallen in love with Jesus. I'm not talking about you had an affair with Jesus, but I'm talking about you love him, not because of what he's done, but because of who he is. Yes, sir. Everybody, we're going to sing this chorus together. And even if you can't sing, even if you don't know the words, you can give God an oath. And that oath can mean to you whatever that oath needs to mean to you. Can we sing it right there? Can we sing that chorus right there? Everybody, every man, everyone, open up your spirit and sing with me. Here we go.
Good afternoon, cousin. It is now 5:06 on October the 2nd. And as promised, I do have the high school football team scores. We want to start off with Newton. On September the 23rd, they played Heritage and they won with a score of 34-28. And it also was their homecoming game. This past Friday, they played a home game versus South Gwinnett, and in the last minute, they won with a score of 13-12 on September the 30th on last Friday night. Next, we have Alcovy on September the 23rd. at an away game. They won against Forest Park. The score was 7-6. And on this past Friday, they played Grovetown at Grovetown, and they sadly lost with a score of 34-0. Next, we have Eastside on September the 23rd. They had a away game at Oconee County with the score, and they won with the score of 32-31 after a long, hard-fought game. And this past yesterday, they played Druid Hill, and it was also their homecoming. They won with the score of 49-0. Again, their next game will be played on Alcovey will play Evans, and it will also be their homecoming on October the 7th, this coming Friday. It is a home game. I'm sorry. Eastside will play Henry County on October the 7th, and Newton will play Archer County at Archer. So if you can, go out and make these games and participate and have a great time with your family, your friends, celebrate with close relatives, see the boys go out and have a great time, see the cheerleaders go out with all their school spirit, as well as go to the Alcovey homecoming and see all the beautiful homecoming dresses and all the homecoming festivities. So please stay tuned to your favorite radio station, 1430 AM, WGFS.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. I love you, Lord. Because of who you are, I give you glory. Because of who you are, I give you praise. Because of